we're doing living sober. See, living sober, and we on a one about this booklet, and this is a part of a. This is part of AA. This living sober book. Now we did the NA one. Now we're doing the living sober by AA. Using this booklet does not offer a plan for recovery from alcoholism. The Alcoholic Anonymous steps that summarize its program of recovery are set forth in detail in the books Alcoholic Anonymous and 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Those steps are not interpreted here, nor are the process they cover discussed in this booklet. Here we tell only some methods we have used for living without drinking. You are welcome to all of them, whether you are interested in Alcoholics Anonymous or not. Our drinking was connected with many habits, big or little. Some of them were thinking habits or things we felt inside ourselves. Our others were doing habits, things we did, actions we took, in getting used to not drinking. We have found that we needed new habits to take the place of those old ones. For example, instead of taking the next drink, the one in your hand, or the one you've been planning on, you can postpone it until you read the bottom of page 6. Sip some soda or fruit juice instead of an alcoholic beverage. While you read a little later, we'll explain more fully what's behind this change in habits. After we spent a few months practicing these new sober habits or ways of acting and thinking, they became almost second nature to most of us, as drinking used to be. Not drinking has been natural and easy, not a long, daily struggle. This practical hour-by-hour methods can easily be used at home, at work, or in social gatherings. Also included here are several things we have learned not to do or to avoid. These were things that we now see. One attempted us to drink or otherwise endanger our recovery. We think you'll find many or even all of the discussions discussed here valuable and living sober with comfort and ease. There is nothing sufficient about the order in which the booklet presents them. They can be rearranged in any way you like that works. Nor is this a complete listening, practicing every AA member you meet can give you at least one more good idea not mentioned here, and you will probably come up with brand new ones that work for you. We hope you pass them on to others who can also profit by them. AA as a fellowship does not formally endorse nor command for all alcoholics every line of action included here, but each practice mentioned has proved useful to some members and may be helpful to you. This booklet is planned as a handy manual for consulting from time to time, not something to be read straight through just once, then forgotten. Here are two cautions which have proved helpful. A. Keep an open mind. Perhaps some of the discussions offered here would not appeal to you. And that if that the case, we have found that instead of rejecting them forever, it's a better idea to set them aside for the time being. If we don't close our minds to them permanently, we can always go back later and try out ideas we didn't like before if we want to. For instance, some of us found that in intentional non-drinking days, the suggestions in scholarship, comradeship offered by an AA sponsor helped us greatly to stay sober. Others of us waited until we had visited many groups and met many AAs before we finally called on a sponsor's help. Some of us found formal prayer a strong aid in not drinking, while others fled from anything that suggested religion. But all of us are free to change our minds on these ideas later, and if we choose. Many of us found that the sooner we started work on the 12 steps offered as a program of recovery in the book Alcoholics Anonymous, the better others of us felt the need to postpone this until we had been sober a little while. The point is, there is no prescribed AA right way or wrong way. Each of us uses what is best for himself or herself without closing the door on other kinds of help. We may find valuable at other time, and each of us tries to respect others' rights to do things differently. Sometimes an AA member would talk about taking the various parts of the program in cafeteria style, selecting what he likes and letting alone what he does not want. Maybe others will come along and pick up the unwanted parts, or maybe that member it himself will go back later and take some of the ideas he purposely rejected. However, it is good to remember that the temptation in the cafeteria to pick up nothing but a lot of desserts or starches or salads or some other food we particularly like. It serves as an important reminder to us to keep balance in our lives. In recovering from alcoholism, we found that we needed a balanced diet of ideas, even if some of them did not look at first as enjoyable as others. Like good food, good ideas did us no good unless we made intelligent use of them. And that leads to our second caution. B. Use our common sense. Use your common sense. We found that we have to use plain everyday intelligence in applying the suggestions that follow. Like almost any other ideas, the suggestions in this booklet can be misused. For example, take the notion of eating candy. Obviously, alcoholics with diabetes, obesity, or blood sugar problems have had to find substitutes so they would not endanger their health, yet could still get the benefit of the candy eating idea in recovery from alcoholism. Many nutritionists favor protein-rich snacks, other sweets as a general practice. Also, it's not good for anybody to overdo this remedy. We should eat balanced meals in addition to the candy. Another example is the use of slogan, easy does it. Some of us have found that we could abuse the reasonable notion, turning it into an excuse of tardiness, laziness, and rudeness. That is not, of course, what the slogan is intended for. Properly applied, it can be healing. Misapplied, it can hinder our recovery. Some among us would add to it. Easy does it, but do it. It's clear that we have to use our intelligence in following any advice. Every method described here needs to be used in good judgment. One more thing, AA does not pretend to offer scientific expertise on staying sober. We can share with you only our own personal experience, not professional theories or explanation. So these pages offer no new medical shortcuts on how to stop drinking if you are still doing it, nor any mysterious secrets for shortening or avoiding a hangover. Sometimes getting sober can be done on your own at home, but frequently prolonged drinking has caused just serious medical problems that you would be better advised to seek medical and hospital help for drying out. If you are that seriously ill, you may need just professional services before you can possibly be interested in what we have for here. Many of us who are not that sick, however, have sweated it out in the company of other AA members because we have been through it ourselves. We can often help in a layman's way and to relieve some of the misery and suffering. At least we understand we have been there. So this booklet is about not drinking rather than about stopping drinking. It's about living sober. We have found that for us recovery begins with not drinking, with getting sober and staying completely free from alcohol in any amount and in any form. We have also found that we have to stay away from other mind-changing drugs. We can move forward a full and satisfying life only when we stay sober. Sobriety is the launching pad of our recovery. In a way, this booklet is about how to handle sobriety before we couldn't, so we drank. Tomorrow we're gonna do number 2. So today was about the booklet.